Ryan Blaney just got handed the shortest number on the entire board for Sunday's Dollar Tree 301 at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Defending winner locked into the chase, second in the Cup Series standings. However, dig into his actual history at Loudon, and that favorite tag starts looking a whole lot shakier than it sounds. Let's start with what actually happened this week, because this is the part that has the NASCAR world buzzing heading into New England. DraftKings opened Ryan Blaney at plus 450 to win the Dollar Tree 301, the shortest price on a full 36 car board. Over at FanDuel, he sits as a co-favorite with Christopher Bell at plus 400. Behind them, you have got Bell around plus 500 on some boards. Denny Hamlin and Joey Logano floating in that plus 550 to plus 600 range. Chase Briscoe near plus 800, and Kyle Larson at plus 900. Dwan saged that top number, and you are looking at roughly an 18% implied chance of winning against a 36-car field. In stock car racing, that is enormous respect for one driver, and the timing makes it even louder. Qualifying at New Hampshire does not run until Saturday morning, so the market crowned Blaney the favorite without knowing where the number 12 Ford will start. That is the book telling you it believes in raw speed over track position. The second piece of news matters even more than the odds, because it shapes his entire championship. Blaney has officially clinched his spot in the chase, and after Richmond, he climbed back into second place in the standings with 854 points. Sitting 115 behind Denny Hamlin's 969. So, why does second place matter so much in 2026? Because NASCAR scrapped the old win-and-in elimination format and brought back the chase. The top 16 drivers in regular season points advance into a 10-race mini-season with no eliminations at all. The regular season champion resets to 2,100 points. Second place resets to 2,075. Third place gets 2,065, and it drops 5-point increments from there all the way down to 2,000 for 16th. That gap between second and third is worth 10 points before a single chase lap gets run, and Ty Gibbs is parked just 12 points behind Blaney. Loudon is not a victory lap for the number 12 team. It is a knife fight over seeding. Now let's talk about why Blaney is the defending winner here, because the way he pulled it off last September tells you everything about this race team. That was the Mobile 1301, the opening race of the round of 12 in the 2025 playoffs. Team Penske locked out the front of the grid, with Joey Logano on the pole, Blaney on the outside of the front row, and Wood Brothers driver Josh Berry qualifying third. Blaney went out and won stage 1, then spent the afternoon trading control of the race with his teammate. Logano led a race-high 147 laps. Blaney led 116. Ford drivers combined to lead 275 of the 301 laps around that flat mile, at a track Toyota had owned for 3 straight years. Crew chief Jonathan Hassler made the aggressive call, bringing Blaney down pit road for his final green flag stop with 69 laps left, then gambling on a 2-tire stop with 46 to go. Blaney came out third behind Berry and Chase Elliott, hunted Berry down, grabbed the lead with 39 laps remaining, and survived to win by 0.937 seconds. William Byron finished third, Logano fourth, Chase Elliott fifth. Then Blaney hoisted Loudon the Lobster, the live lobster trophy he said he had wanted to hold since he was a kid. He also called those closing laps the hardest 20 he had ever driven. Before anyone crowns him, though, we have to look at the numbers that make this pick flat out uncomfortable, and they are rough. In the next-gen era at New Hampshire, Ryan Blaney has finished 18th or worse in 3 of his last 4 starts. His average finish at the Magic Mile in this car sits at 16.5. That victory last September stands as the only Loudon result better than 18th he has ever posted with the next-gen car. One brilliant afternoon surrounded by wreckage speedered has never been the problem. In that same next-gen sample, he ranks 5th in speed and 6th in driver rating at Loudon, which means the car has been fast and the finishing position has not matched. Sound familiar? That has been the exact story of his last 2 weekends. At Iowa, he led 129 laps and won stage 1 before fading to third. At Richmond, he won the pole, led 88 laps, collected his series-high six-stage win of 2026, then watched the race slip away for a 13th place finish while Logano drove off with the trophy. 2 straight weeks of opening fast and closing soft. That is the pattern this team has to break on Sunday. So what makes New Hampshire Motor Speedway such a puzzle? Start with the geometry. It is a 1.058-mile oval with almost no banking anywhere. Between 2 and 7 degrees in the corners and a single degree down each straightaway. Horsepower barely matters at Loudon. This is a braking track and a mechanical grip track, where the driver who carries corner entry stability deepest into a fuel run walks away with the afternoon, and that specific skill is exactly where Blaney separates himself from the field. Across shorter flat tracks going back to the start of 2025, he ranks number 1 in the entire garage in average finish at 6.9 and number 1 in raw speed. Narrow that window to 2026 alone, and he still sits 3rd in average finish at 7.0 and 3rd in speed. So the profile the odds makers are betting on is not sentiment about one lucky September afternoon. It is a measurable, repeatable edge on flat, grip-limited racetracks that just happens to have produced terrible Loudon results. The race covers 301 laps and 318.46 miles. Stage 1 ends on lap 70, Stage 2 ends on lap 185, and the final stage stretches a punishing 116 laps across abrasive New England asphalt. Track position rules everything here. Historically, drivers starting inside the top 10 have produced roughly 55% of New Hampshire winners, and the pole sitter alone accounts for about 11%. That is exactly why Saturday qualifying at 11:35 in the morning Eastern carries so much weight, and why the sportsbooks committing to Blaney before qualifying is such a loud statement. Here is where the championship math actually lands. A win Sunday hands Blaney his 3rd victory of 2026, his 20th career cup win, back-to-back trophies at a track that has tormented him, and proof that the number 12 team can close a race it dominates. Another late fade turns a strength into a question mark rolling into Daytona and then Darlington. The green flag drops Sunday, August 23rd at 3 p.m. Eastern on USA Network with radio coverage on PRN and Sirius XM NASCAR Radio, and practice and qualifying running Saturday morning. My honest take: the flat track speed is real. The Penske package at Loudon is real. And closing execution is the only thing standing between Ryan Blaney and Loudon the Lobster. Drop your pick in the comments. Does Blaney repeat? Does Bell finally break through? Or does Logano go back-to-back on his home track? Subscribe so you do not miss the breakdown the second that checkered flag flies at the Magic Mile.